that shit triggered me, bruh. It triggered me. And for people that don't understand our side of the coin, I'll just give you some shit that I haven't talked about in years. I had PTSD from that shit. Real talk. And what I mean by that is dude coming on stage was really not the issue. I didn't expect him to do it, and I handled myself well. Well, Ted, like I said, I do the boxing thing. Been doing it for a while.
Well, see, before you say something, go back and tell them your story. I know the story. I can tell them if you want me to.
All right.
But
okay. So
I want to hear it from you.
Right. All right. So I'm in Columbia, South Carolina, doing my thing. Buddy, he's sitting on the second or third row, enjoying himself. Now, let me give you the background.
Like Will was. Like Will was.
Like enjoying himself, laughing his ass off. One of the main ones. We making eye contact. We doing just laughing. Nobody's cracking on nobody. I'm just doing straight material. Just bam, 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 bam. He's laughing. All of a sudden, he gets up. And he just starts looking around and just starts staring like at me, but past me. But I'm continuing on. And, you know, his girl, I see her, she get up. She put her hand on his shoulder. He turns around and socks the shit out of her. And I'm like, what the fuck, you know? So now I'm up there like, damn, do I finish? Do I what? So now other people get involved. The little old, they had like one old little security guard. He gets pushed down. Nigga shoe come off. It was crazy. All right, so I know the nigga shoe ain't got to do it, but it did come off. The nigga had an orange. I never forget. The nigga had an orange or a blue jacket. I never forget. I mean, he was real. I don't understand. He like a little old. He like when you ever see one of them old gospel quartet singers at your mama church. Like,
yeah.
Had on the Steve Harvey suit, everything. So yeah. So he knocked out. He got pushed down. So other people are getting involved. You know, tables rubbing. I mean, just all type of shit going on. He pushed his mom down. She tried to stop him. So he's just going crazy. So now, you know, the host of the show is like, "Hey man, we got him. I'm like, "No."
You say he pushed his mama down.
He pushed his mama down. Pushed his mama down. So let me give you a background on him. What was going on with him is he was definitely institutionalized. He had just gotten out of prison a couple of days before. Then he was drinking, and he was severely bipolar. So he wasn't taking his meds. He was drinking. So that was a recipe for disaster. That was a recipe for disaster. So that was an isolated incident. It wasn't I'm a joke on you, and then you get mad and none of that. The nigga just lost it. So now, while he was doing all this, somehow we make eye contact. So he starts walking towards the table like, man, please don't come up here, bro. He's walking in the host of the show. I mean, the host of the show who works for the club is like, man, we got him. I'm like, how the fuck you got him? And the one nigga you got is on the ground with his shoe off. I don't understand. But you ain't got this dude. So
the one nigga that's supposed to have him.
Right. So this dude, now he's on stage. So now the dude that was so-called trying to keep me calm and, you know, telling me everything's going to be all right, this nigga just does this right here and walks off stage and leave me with the dude. All right. So I'm like, the dude, he comes up. So I square up. I get right in front of him like I'm supposed to. Because, you know, in situations like that, if you run and turn your back, you are automatically bumped. Right. Or they can do anything. So, nigga, I'm not.
Correct.
Right. So I square up with him. So now he just started throwing haymakers, and I'm slipping and ducking up under him and all that. So, you know, and what I mean by slipping is like.
And this is all on stage in front of the whole audience.
Right. So slipping is like when you just barely moving and make a nigga miss. You know, just barely moving.
Right.
Or I would duck and go up on him and regain my composure, but stay in front of him. So while I'm doing all this, I'm looking for security to come and help. I look over the nigga's shoulder. Security is standing there looking at it with his shoe in his hand, like, okay, let me see what's gonna happen. I mean, no,
you bush,
nigga. I swear to God. So now, oh, dude, the dude who was attacking me.
You say with his shoe in his hand.
He had the shoe in his hand. He didn't put it back on. So listen. So now, the dude who was attacking me. He eventually gets mad from doing all this swinging because, you know, if you ever done boxing or fought with anybody,
You
if you swing
right.
and you miss, it's going to take a lot out of you.
Yeah.
So he throwing
yeah.
Right. So now he like, you know what? If I get tired, this nigga going to kill me because apparently he know what he doing. So he panics and he grabs the mic stand. He throws the mic stand, the bass break off, go up against the wall, hit a lady in the back. She requires stitches. All right, that's how bad it got. He's constantly
that mic stand base is
like
what, 10, 12 pounds? Okay,
like that.
so that thing is like hurt. If you hit somebody with that thing is metal or it's whatever the fuck it is, it'll tear your ass up.
Right. So thank God it broke and it flew away. So he's still swinging. He caught me with the mic stand, the little sharp part because it broke, and I required a stitch in my shoulder. But he threw it at me, missed. Then he got the bar stool, and then he threw it at me, and he caught me on the hip. And next thing I know, he snaps out of it and started walking off stage. Now, two brothers came up there and finally intervened, and I bullshit you not. They were the cooks, so them niggas stopped cooking chicken and fries, all they shit burning, and they trying to stop the fight, you know. So and Ted, this is what fucked me up about the comedy club. At the end of the night, after all that, they tried to dock me for that food.
Yeah, you told me.
They tried to dock me. They try to dock me for that food. So
which blows the shit out of me because at the end of the day, they really don't give a fuck how we actually make a living. They don't give a fuck about our well-being. I'm talking about as a whole. I'm talking about most clubs you go to, they don't have security in there.
I went to the hospital that night and I called the club to try to let them know how I was doing. Them motherfuckers wouldn't even answer the phone. I called the manager, and the last thing he said to me was, man, this is going to cause a social media shitstorm. And I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, man, I'm good. I'm good. And I went to the hospital thinking they was going to, support me or whatever. Then the next day, these motherfuckers got on social media and tried to make it seem like I started it and antagonized a dude. And I'm like, bro, I've given you 5 sold out shows.
You told me some. Yeah, because you told me other comics came in, which I would think other comics would come in your defense because I saw the video.
No, they did.
I saw the video.
But what happened? The manager of this club was cool with another manager here in Atlanta, right? And he was managing Jess Hilarious at the time. Now, Jess and I, we're cool, okay? We're cool now. But at the same time, I don't think she knew any better, and they used her as a pawn because she had a lot of followers and shit. So what they did, they convinced her to go in on me, and she didn't even know me. Just go in on me, saying, oh, you started that fight, and look what happened. You shouldn't be fucking with people, and this and that, and this and that. So now, I'm like, what the fuck? So I go back and kind of blaze that ass, and she go away. So, after that, it was all fucked up. But I will say this: after all that, I suffered from PTSD. I really did. And what I mean by that is, dog, I would come home after shows and I'd be checking around my house because I'm thinking this nigga's in my house. Now, Ted, the nigga is in prison. He went back to prison. He went back a couple of days. He's in prison, but in my mind, I'm thinking like when I pull up to my house, I'm damn. I wonder if this nigga gonna be in my house.
You went out for a second. You went out for hold on. What? You went out for a second. You say the nigga he's back in prison. You say he went back to prison.
He went right back to prison. So, but the thing is, in my mind, I'm thinking like, man, what if I pull up to my house and he come from behind the bushes? Now I know this nigga in prison, but that's how my mind was fucking with me. What if I get home, I walk in the house and this nigga got my kids hostage? Dude, I would even be doing shows and I look down in the row, I would see this nigga. But I know he wasn't there. You see what I'm saying? So I had to go to counseling.
And what people don't know, you would do a show, let's just say at Stardome. Stardome holds about what, 300-400 people?
Yeah.
And when you go in, you make showtime might be 8 o'clock. You go in, you might go in, 7:30, 7:15, chill out and backstage. People are coming in. You don't know who's out there at all. You don't know if you got in a fight. You would not know if somebody came and sitting there with a gun just waiting for your ass to come out. You don't know. You have no idea. Now, as you're telling your jokes, you're trying to scan the room just to make sure we all good. Or you might even have a person out there to say, hey, take a look. But a lot of cases you don't as a stand-up comic. You are on your own.
On your own. And dog, the thing
on
is, my shows, I try to keep people so entertained that I don't really give them a chance to holler out or to heckle or that. But sometimes
to heckle or anything, right?
If they do heckle, I'll hit them and go right back to the show and keep it moving. And sometimes I'll do it in a way to where I include them in the show in a friendly way. But now I'm really, really concerned because now you got a lot of idiots out there. And they feel like now that Will Smith did what he did, they feel like it can be turned into a whole fad. Like, hey man, Will can do it and get away with it. Shit, I'm gonna do it because hey, I can get some clout or whatever. But I'm the nigga you don't want to do that with because I'm telling you, you try that shit on me, bitch. Bad news gonna beat you home. That's just what it is. That's where I am, right? Because I got this mentality now, man, and it's sad. I got the police mentality. I used to say, okay, I'm going to go and get these people a great show.
And I know exactly what that is. I'm going to make it home. I'm going to make it home. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to make it home.
I'm going to make it home. I'm going to make it home. So you are going to have to pay the consequences if you run on stage. That's just what it is. So, I mean, and I love the people that love me, but it's some idiots out there. And I know after watching that, people were actually glorifying what Will Smith did, and Will was wrong as hell. I mean, Will, number one, I hold Will to a high regard. I respect him as an actor and entertainer. I love Will. I love Chris. I do. But dude, what you did was so fucking wrong because you could have waited and handled that in the back or or somewhere. Dude, you did it on stage in front of everybody, and then you look like a sucker because think about it. You sitting there, you laughing at the joke. You laughing at it. And then when
he was laughing at the joke.
Listen,
he was laughing at the joke.
Then when Jada, the main one who has caused you all this pain and embarrassment and all this other shit, give you that look, then you run up there. But I'm gonna tell you what happened from what I saw. What happened was when Jada rolled
out. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hey, if you are on here, if you're on this podcast right now, if you're on this live, I'm going to need you to do one thing. I'm going to need you to link another person or two or three. Tell them we're on here. Come and watch Steve Brown. What Steve is talking about is him having an issue with Will Smith did because he had an issue with somebody that got stepped on stage with him. So I knew if any comic was upset, it was going to be Steve Brown. I was like, oh, I got to make sure I call Steve or whatever the case be. Now, I got a different take, and I'll give you my take, but I understand everything he's saying because, I am a stand-up comic, so I speak the language. I know what he's talking about. But what I need y'all to do, follow Steve Brown, at Steve Brown. What is it, Steve? You got a different one. Anyway, hit the link and make sure you follow Steve Brown.
Right.
Make sure you follow Steve Brown. I'm at Teddy Carpenter. If you on here, don't just be nosy. We need all the followers we can get because now this is how we make our money, on this side. So Steve, what you were saying was, Will, she had her, what is that? The red velvet room or whatever she has where she makes people bare their soul.
The red table.
The red table, and she makes people bare their soul. So you were saying, go ahead.
All right, so Ted, she has embarrassed this man on several occasions. She's talked shit about him.
Right.
She's still talking about how much she loved Tupac. Now, I think this is what made Will snap. When she rolled her eyes at him and then the camera cut away from him, she looked at that nigga, leaned over and said, Tupac would have slapped that nigga. And Will was like, you know what? I need to go slap that nigga. And nigga, that's what happened. And people are saying people are saying this, oh man, she got alopecia, she got this and this and that. Let me tell you something. Nobody is above a joke. Furthermore, let me educate y'all on this too. He didn't attack her. He didn't attack nothing. What he did, he referenced her haircut to a movie. He didn't attack Jada. So y'all cut all this bullshit out like, oh man, this and that. He talked about a sick person. He didn't know, fuck all that. He referenced her haircut to a movie. Now, for all of y'all that's saying all this bullshit, what if, I'm just saying, what if, because of what Chris Rock said, you see a G.I. Jane 2, and guess who's the leading actor? Jada. Then what? Then what?
Hey.
So I'm like,
listen, man.
Y'all need to cut it out with this bullshit. Y'all just want an excuse to excuse ignorance, and because a person is on a higher platform, they can be excused. No. That Will Smith, I love you to death. You're one of my favorite artists. Chris Rock, you're one of my favorite comedians. But in this case, Will Smith was wrong as fuck. Yes, I believe in defending your queen. I do. But dude, is a time and place for everything. Now, if Chris Rock had went out there and spit on and hit on and all that, then you handle that. The nigga just said a reference to a movie. He didn't even say, hey, Jada, right. You bald head. Hey, Jada, you. The nigga just said, hey, man, I love you, Jada, and I can't wait to see you in the next G.I. Jane 2. That's it. Come on, man. Mm-hmm. The comedians are saying worse. And then on top of that, another thing, Will has made a living out of doing what? Making fun of other motherfuckers. He was a comedic actor. He did it for years. So now when the joke is on you or yours, you get mad. Now, dog, I ain't excusing that. Dude, you got mad because Jada didn't had your ass pissed off, embarrassed, and all that. And then what happened? Chris Rock happened to be the scapegoat, and you took that chance. That's what you did. Because trust me. Let me tell you. Would he have done that if The Rock had made that joke? Would he have done that if the Rock had made that joke? Would he have done that?
I don't think he would have. But let me tell you where I stand. I laugh at all of this stuff because on one hand, I'm kind of like, this is like the first time it ain't all me. I ain't the one that's always in trouble. I ain't the one that's always starting shit. So I'm kind of sitting back, kind of laughing. Now, it's serious, but here's my take on it. My take on it is I actually understand the pressure that Will, if I'm talking about the person, I understand the pressure that Will's been on, because you're talking about somebody that makes people bare their soul at their, their red table and whatever, because those people get on there and bare their motherfucking soul. But one thing I know about TV is your shit gonna come out too. Your shit gonna come out too. So in the process that you making everybody else tell their shit, your shit gonna come out. And so when you start talking about I fucked the dude, and I'm paraphrasing, I fucked the dude and I was in a relationship and I think she fucked him in their own house and the relationships, and she's still in love with Will. I mean, not Will, but Tupac. And she ain't in love with Will. And all that shit that come about, I'm like,
come on, man.
This is some strange shit. Now you're talking about a man. Hold on, you're talking about a man who made millions, and women would love to get with a Will Smith. Would love to get with a Will Smith and treat that motherfucker like a king. Have you ever seen Will Smith's ex-wife? She bad than a motherfucker. And you talking about all of these things as if this nigga ain't even in the room. He don't hear nothing. In fact, you went as far as set your kids in some of those, sit down, and your kids hear all of this stuff. So so people are wondering why this thing is so off. Now, I love their love for each other, but you're right. A lot of this shit came from home. So that all of this pressure that built up from you and the piss, you know, you pissed off. And I know Will, and I know Will's bodyguard, and I know all of the dudes and some of the dudes out of Philly that, you know, that he's connected with. They might not say nothing. They quiet as church mouses right now. But the point of the, you know, only thing they say is, oh, the West Philly came out of it. Well, Will lived in a nice part of West Philly. I ain't saying Will is no punk, because I'm not saying he's a punk. I'm just saying Will didn't come up in that motherfucking thrashing ass neighborhood or whooping people's ass or all of that stuff. But let me say this. When Will walked up on Chris had to see that this dude wasn't joking. Chris allowed this dude to walk right up in his face. And when he smacked Chris, first of all, Chris took a hell of a punch. He rolled with it. You box, you know what I'm talking about. He rolled with it pretty nice. Yeah. He rolled with it, right? So it didn't catch him flush. But I knew it wasn't fake because of the noise. When I heard the noise, I knew it wasn't fake. But the point being is, what Will did after that was he turned around, straightened his shit up, and walked away like it was a movie. The nigga never looked back. And Chris, the one thing Chris should have done is at least look like he wanted to fight. He had to at least look like he wasn't going to take no ass whooping.
Hey, Ted, let me tell you something. That was a high-ass level of disrespect. Let me tell you something, man. If a nigga slap you and turn his whole back on you and then walk away, he's saying you a bitch and you ain't gonna do nothing. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I swear to God, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Nigga, I wouldn't have hit him from behind. I'm gonna tell you what I would have done, and I'm being dead-ass serious because I'm a calculator type nigga. I would have turned the Oscars into the Willis, nigga. That would have been some nigga shit. I would have bit that nigga in the back. I swear to God. Not just, I'm talking about the low part of his back. I swear to God, nigga. And, nigga, when he got his Oscar, it would have been a big-ass bite, bitch. I'm telling you. Because you just not going to do no fucked up shit to me, and I'm not going to match it. I'm going to match it. I'm going to bite your ass in the back, then I'm going to beat up Jada and the nigga that she slept with. I'm doing all that because you took it too far. You know, man, you know damn well you don't slap no grown-ass man, but the way you did it, but you know, the thing is, man, Chris didn't press charges, but I still feel like it's going to be something behind that shit because I don't care. No man ain't gonna just let you slap him and get away with it like that. I just don't believe that.
Correct. Oh, no. The way Hollywood works is real simple. Immediately after all of this shit, everybody looked like they went to parties, but I bet you Will's lawyer, I bet you Chris Rock's lawyer, the managers, the people from the production company, everybody tried to figure out, because this is how Hollywood works. Hollywood works like everybody's going to try to make some money off of this shit. You know, you heard the phrase that any news is good news. Well, that's where this shit comes from. So Hollywood works that they're going to try to figure out. Now think about it. If you're Chris Rock, everybody's waiting for you to speak.
Yep.
So you have more than 5, 10, 20 million motherfuckers waiting for you to say something. What does that turn into? That turns into cash. That turns into money. And they're waiting for you to say what you're going to do. Correct. So what happens is he's going to make money. He's going to make another $2, $3, $4 million off of this easy. Because you got 30 minutes worth of conversation about you getting your ass whooped. Right. You know, or smacked. So Will, he's going to have to pay a price somewhere. Not a Hollywood price. They're not going to bar him from shit because he runs Hollywood. But what it's going to do is he's going to have to make a deal somewhere in production or something to do something for Chris Rock to keep this shit out the news. Right. Even Will Packer, who was the producer, he can make money off of this shit. Because he's going to come in and say, you know, his publicist is going to say he's going to make a statement and this and that, and all eyes are going to be on him. Well, what does that do? Turn into Instagram followers, turn into TikTok followers, turn into whatever. People are going to know the name Will Packer, the people who doesn't know. So what I'm saying is, don't feel sorry that we talking about none of these motherfuckers. Right. Because all of them gonna make millions.
Hey man, you know what
All of
though?
them
Let me
gonna
tell
make
you something,
millions
man.
over this shit.
Yeah, I believe, but that kind of fucked up his legacy and it fucked us up, us black folks up. I'm talking about Will Packer because man, and it was very selfish of that for that to happen because that he was the first black man to produce an Oscar, and look what happened. Them niggas showed up. That nigga shit showed up, and
Well, they
it didn't
turned
look
some of
good.
that shit into BET Awards,
They didn't. That Source Awards.
the Source Awards. Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
did.
yeah.
Man. So man, again, like I mean, it's no disrespect to Will Smith or Chris Rock and nobody involved, but I just felt like that shit. I mean, it could have waited. You know, it could have. You know, and then I ain't gonna lie to you. Some people saying that shit was staged. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah,
if it was staged, a lot of people gonna be pissed off.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, if it was staged, a lot of people. I don't think it was staged, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Two things that stood out to me. Two things that stood out to me. Because if it was staged, they did a hell of a staging. But two things stood out to me. One, when he slapped him, you can actually hear it over the sound mic. Usually Hollywood, you know, when somebody can smack you, you can make that noise like you getting hit.
Yeah,
And so
right.
that noise was live. The second thing was Will was like, keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth or whatever he said. The young lady that was sitting beside Will was horrified. She was like,
Right.
you know, she couldn't believe what the fuck she just saw. she
Right.
was, you know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what? For me, I was like, wait, did I just, because I don't even watch that shit.
Yeah.
Did I just see Will smack the shit out of Chris Rock?
Yeah.
And see, people don't realize, they used to ask me, why did I get blacklisted? And it wasn't Chris Rock. It wasn't Chris Rock himself. It was Chris Rock's agent.
Yep.
Who started making phone calls that if I was on the show, because I did a show with Chris Rock and the shit didn't come out right. We had a real problem. And from there, if I was on any shows with any of his artists, they wasn't allowed to be on the show. So guess who got kicked off the show?
That's fucked up. Yeah.
And that shit happened. It happened for about I take that back. It was about 5 or 6 years till we started realizing. I was like, man, what in the hell is going on? Because all my shows kept falling out. Guess who it was? It was White Boy from California. Because most of these people, what people don't realize is most of these bigger name artists, they talk all the black shit they want. Black, they this, they that. They got white agents.
Yep.
95% of them have white agents, and they make phone calls. And it's just like, you know, they'll make phone calls to the white comedy clubs, and they all in. But when those black people call and got that money, they're gonna send you all through a bunch of changes because their money, they're used to doing business with these white clubs. White concerts, white clubs, like that's why you have the black, the black, what is it, black promoters collective. Those guys are coming in trying to now go up against Live Nation, which is Live Nation is predominantly white. So so you see New Edition. New Edition is by these black promoters. So it's a lot of politics behind this stuff that the average person don't know. But don't feel sorry for nobody. They all are going to make money off of this shit. That's fact.
I believe that.
That's motherfucking fact.